Welcome to the Flourish.Academy podcast. My name is Heather Lottinen, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Mara Chick. We believe everyone can be successful in any endeavor they pursue, whether it's personal or professional. By constantly nourishing your mind and reading books, you can impart wisdom and tactics into your life and business. In this podcast, we will be discussing the books that have impacted us and share actionable strategies at the end of each episode to help you succeed.
So we're going to read. You don't have to.
That's right.
That's right. We are today continuing our discussion around Big Potential by Shawn Achor. Did you notice I did not say the Big Potential this time? That took a lot of thought to do that. Okay. All right, we're going to jump quickly here into Chapter 4. We're going to touch on Chapters 4 and 5 in this episode. So straight to page 98. We must empower people to lead no matter what chair they are in. The old definition of potential, that is, small potential, is based on the myth that unless you are in a formal position of authority or power, you cannot change other people and you cannot change a culture. But while this myth is all too widely endorsed among the business and education communities, the truth is that this kind of change is possible. But you must first recognize that you can create change wherever you are. Okay, I have a question for you. Ready?
Sort of. I mean, we'll say.
You got to get ready.
Right.
In your corporate job, did you feel like you could create change, even though you weren't in like a CFO, CEO kind of position?
Wow. That's a good question. So this goes back about 15 years. I worked in corporate for many years, and no, I did not feel that I could create change. I was placed in some positions of management and like low-level management, middle management, I guess. And I did not feel empowered to make change. But at the time, I was also extremely ill-equipped. I was not reading these books. I was not anywhere at the level I am now. So now, obviously, I know if I were to go back, you can create change no matter what your position. Whether you're the janitor or the CEO, you can create change anywhere in any company that you are. I recognize that now. I don't know if I would have believed you if you told me that back then.
I agree. I probably would not. I don't think I realized. Then when I became like a project manager, I probably was not a boss I would want to work for because
to be honest,
I'm going to be honest about it. I mean, I wasn't. Like, it was all about the job and getting things done and servicing the clients properly. And I was not, because I didn't have these books. I did not have these books. So I would go back and do it differently.
We would be very good in corporate now.
Yeah, but we don't want to be there.
But we don't want to do it.
I don't want to be there. No. Okay, moving to page 108 from the book. To sustain change, we must reward and reinforce people's efforts to create change. Thus, it is critical to use progress to motivate people to continue to lead from every seat. When people see the fruits of their efforts, it creates a positive feedback loop whereby progress becomes a catalyst for even greater change. No matter what seat we sit in, we can all use progress to tap into bigger and bigger potential, whether with our teams at work or at home with our kids. If your child is learning to read, for example, you could keep a running list of all the books they have completed to remind them how rewarding reading a book cover to cover can feel. So I'm all about rewarding, and we've talked about this many times in the podcast. Heather loves the term micro wins. So I really feel like we sometimes as entrepreneurs want to just celebrate the big successes, and we forget to take it step by step. And I want to start celebrating the progress that I make. So whenever I achieve something, I'm going to start celebrating it. I don't know what celebration looks like yet, but I think I'm just going to give myself a high five. Yeah. So
good for you. Right.
You should give yourself a high five. So, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a single business owner. So I have to give myself high fives. So
yeah. Who else is going to do it?
Yeah. We have to celebrate that.
I love micro wins. Yeah, you're right. Anything that I accomplish, no matter how small. And some days are bigger and better than others. You finish a project, that's great. But sometimes I celebrate the fact that I got out of bed and made it to my desk. I mean, that's a micro win. I am winning at life if I am keeping up to date with my work and making progress. So I am very interested in micro wins for sure. Celebrate everything along the way, not just the big success.
Big things.
Right.
That's it. Okay, Heather, you want to move us to page 109 here?
Yes, I do. So this is one of his strategies. He's talking about leading from every, he says lunch seat, meaning from every seat, any seat. He's giving an analogy about a cafeteria, lunchroom. Okay. But what I loved about this is finding meaning in everything you do, no matter how it might be viewed by our culture. So something that might be viewed as a menial task, he's saying, no, false. Find meaning in it. So you should identify one meaningful experience every single day. At dinner every night with my family, we eat as a family every night, 6 p.m. It's my husband, my 2 children, and my parents are with us. And I ask everyone, what went right today? And we go around the table. Just say one thing that went right. So I am hopeful that they are looking for meaning in everything that happens every single day. And from the book on page 111, he says, big potential starts with you, which means that it's up to you to find that meaning in your current position. So let's try this now by asking yourself these questions. And remember, finding meaning is a choice. Ask yourself, are you helping to improve people's lives with your work, even on the smallest scale? Are you able to connect with people at a deeper level, which, by the way, you do very, very well, so far beyond the photos? You're connecting at a very deep level. We talk about this all of the time. You almost become a therapist of sorts because you connect with people.
My couch has
heard a lot of stories.
Heard a lot of stories.
Yeah. Do you have Kleenex around in your
Yes.
area?
There's like
there are
3
tears.
boxes all set up
there are a lot
for
of
the
tears.
house. Yes.
Back to the book. Do you have an opportunity to brighten someone's day because of your interactions? Are you helping improve the world in even a small way? These are not just questions to explore personally, but on teams and in families as well. Yeah, I definitely use this in my family. I ask these questions. How are you leaving people better than you found them? Are you encouraging someone? Are you giving a compliment? Did you find meaning in today? What went right today? Because what you focus on, you will feel, and what you focus on will grow. So if we focus on finding meaning in everything, no matter how small, then the good virtuous cycle will come out of that and things will just get better and better.
Do you know, I don't know if I read it in this book or another book because, gosh, I read like 5 books a week, but there was a story from a housekeeper at a hotel, and she said, and this is going back to like finding passion and what you're doing and are you helping people, and this isn't like a socially, like this isn't like a big career being a housekeeper. And she said, I'm not a housekeeper. I take care of people while they're away from home. And I thought, so even in like what you casually see as someone who's just cleaning rooms in a hotel, like for her, she looks at it as taking care of people.
She found meaning in it.
And I love it. That really warmed my heart. So at the end of this section, this from the book really got me. Helping others see the meaning in their personal lives and work lives does not diminish your own capacity for meaning. It magnifies it. And that meaning is what empowers us to lead. I love that. Oh, gives me the chills sometimes.
Shawn has a great way of explaining these things and about giving examples. I think that your example is perfect. And he gives several examples that are very similar, no matter what you're doing in whatever capacity of your life. So you might have your job, but then you also have your personal relationships with your family, or maybe you're involved with your community or your church. What are you doing in each of these capacities and giving it true meaning and doing it with the best intentions and with all of your might to do the best job possible, no matter how it's viewed by culture or society, because it impacts other people. And remember, it's not just about you. If you're just worried about yourself, you're going to be pretty lonely and miserable. But if you're thinking, how can I find meaning in this that leaves people better than I found them, that impacts them and creates that ripple effect?
Can I just tell a quick story?
Yes.
Be quick. Do you know, you always tell me to like leave things better than you found it. Well, I do that at your house when I come over because we differ on our opinion whether the toilet paper should be over or under.
We do.
And I flip it every time I'm in your bathroom.
That's not leaving it better. That's leaving it worse.
No, I left it better. In my opinion, it was better because that's the right way the toilet paper should be on.
But in my opinion, it's worse. So is it better for you or me?
Well, I made it better for me.
Well, when I'm at your house and I use your restroom, I do toilet paper origami, and I do something fancy on your toilet paper to make it look nice. And guess what I don't do? Fix it to the right way.
Oh, so you... Okay.
Yep.
Because it's already the right way. Anyway, moving on from toilet paper.
We debate very important topics on this
Yes.
podcast.
This is a classic podcast. Okay, we're going to move straight into chapter 5. That was quick. Chapter 4, we only had a couple things we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Heather, you want to take it from
I
page
do.
117 for everybody?
117. Oh, I've written in my notes, I want to be a mood enhancer.
Yes.
I want to improve people's moods. Again, leaving them better than I found them. Okay. In the book, page 117, he says, let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. We fail to recognize that praise is actually a renewable resource. So he's talking about people become misers of praise. That is, they withhold praise. I'm not sure why we do that, but we don't compliment
I'm one that I
or give
love
praise.
praising people. I say all the time, my assistant, like my hair and makeup artist, like I'll praise them to the day they come home because I want them to feel good about themselves.
But that's not a natural tendency. I think you do it because you're aware of it. If you weren't aware of it, which most people unfortunately are not, he says some people treat praise like a limited commodity. They believe that the key to advancement and success must be to absorb and rack up as much recognition, admiration, and accolades as possible. This is the philosophy that we learn in school, then hone to brutally efficiency in the working then we hone it to brutal efficiency in the working world. When we mistakenly believe success and recognition are zero sum, everyone hoards recognition instead of giving it. So they hoard the praise. They keep it to themselves. But as he said, it's actually a renewable resource. It's not limited. So become a mood enhancer by praising people as much and as often as you can. Every minute of every day, look for a way to praise someone or say something nice. It changes lives.
Ooh, I see that firsthand. That's why I don't hold back my compliments. Like if I see something, I will tell someone immediately. And this is probably why my husband doesn't like to have meals with me out in public anymore, because I'm always like telling the waiter or waitress like, "Oh, you're so nice. You've got a good butt." Okay, because I am a boudoir photographer. Yes, I do say that to people, but
you know what also I
beauty
bet?
needs to be recognized.
Because you do that, because you're so forthcoming giving of your praise, I bet you it comes back to you in droves. I bet people say things to you all the time that's not normal. I have a friend recently who said to me that people don't give compliments in her workplace, like on outfits or how somebody looks. And she said, I was wearing this really nice outfit. No one complimented me. And I said, well, how many people have you complimented? Well, not many or none. Okay. I want you to go into work every day, all the time, and just start throwing out compliments and praise to everyone and watch how it starts coming back to you.
Oh, so powerful. Okay, on page 119, I really, really loved this. So we must find a way to take in the light of praise and refract that light outward. By denying the light of praise, we extinguish it. By bending the light towards others, we magnify it. If we want to truly engage, motivate, and inspire, whether as leaders or parents, we need to completely rethink praise. Okay, that perfectly summarizes everything we were just discussing. I will give you all the praise in the world, and then when I come over here and you tell me I did a good job on my makeup, I feel better about myself.
Yeah, right. You just praise. And the thing is, when you give a lot of praise, let's talk about parenting for a moment. If you give your children a lot of praise when appropriate, don't overinflate their egos, but when appropriate, then when it comes time to deliver hard news, they're more receptive. Because it should outweigh it about 10 to 1. Oh, yeah. So if you have a relationship, a friendship, or as a parent, if you are continually giving praise, then when it comes time for a crucial conversation, something difficult you need to discuss, they will be more receptive to it because of that.
Ooh, good point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We just handed out some praise.
Right, we did. Okay. We did.
Okay, we're going to move to page 120 and 121. Okay. Oh my.
This is good. This is about comparison.
We've kind of talked about this, and I have a lot of thoughts on comparison that it really touches me a lot because of what I do, what my work is. There we go. Ready? Mm-hmm. When you tell someone that they are better than someone else, that by definition means that someone else is worse. Moreover, by telling someone they are better or the best, you are placing an unconscious, implicit limit on your expectation for what that other person can achieve. Also, if we are striving only to be better than someone else, Doesn't that set our expectations for ourselves too low? It tells us that as soon as we are just a little bit better than another person, we can stop trying, even if it means stopping short of our potential. If you want to enhance others, do not compare them.
Don't do it.
Don't just stop. The easiest way to stop comparison praise is simply to eliminate superlatives from our vocabulary. The best, the fastest, the smartest, the prettiest. All of these undercut others instead of telling people they are great in their own right. Instead, follow what I consider okay.
Okay, it's a law that can't be
Thank
violated.
You. Okay. I like tongue twisters. Okay.
Yeah.
Praise for leaders and parents. Do not compliment at the expense of others.
Yeah. Okay, this is important. So we tend to tell people you're the smartest, you're the best, whether that's in the room or you're the best speaker. Okay, that means that somebody else is the worst. So why not? So how to rephrase it, I guess, is the question. What you can do is say, you look very pretty today. Your talk was excellent. You are a very good speaker. I spoke recently at a big convention and a lot of people were telling me you were the best. You did so well. And I was like, oh no, I mean, thank you.
Just
They were great speakers, right?
Yeah.
And there were other speakers that were fantastic. We just have different methods. Yeah, I didn't like that because it put somebody else down, not knowingly.
Yeah. But if you say, what he's saying is true though. If I say you're the best speaker, okay, I'm limiting my potential because there might be something I can reach for. Is that the top?
No. Right.
So we're really limiting ourselves when we compare to others. So just praise that person as they are, not a praise in a comparison to someone else. So comparison means a lot to me. I think we fall into that trap a lot. As people.
And maybe just try to be better than you were yesterday. How about that? That's pretty straightforward.
That's the only person you need to be comparing yourself to. Okay, moving on to page 126. What we say and do tells our brain what to focus on. So if you aren't actively scanning the social ecosystem for things to praise, your brain fails to notice what's going on right. By the same token, what we focus on tells our brain what to repeat. As Oprah said in my interview for Super Soul Sunday, the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Because you can see it.
You can see it. So what he's saying is our default will be negative. If you're not aware, if you're not actively looking for praise, your default will be negative. He goes on to say on page 127, not only is failing to give praise a wasted opportunity to reinforce positive behaviors, in the absence of praise, our brain goes straight to the negative, causing us to perceive criticism of our work. One of today's most enterprising young neuroscientists explains that when we perceive criticism, rejection, or fear, our bodies produce higher levels of neurochemicals that shut down the thinking center of our brains and activates protection behaviors. We become more reactive and sensitive. We often perceive even greater judgment and negativity than actually exists. Remember, attention tells the brain what to repeat. I actually wrote "whoa" in the margin of this because our body is reacting to perceived criticism that, by the way, was not even there, but it was just the absence of praise because your mind will come up with something.
Why didn't they praise me?
Exactly.
And then you feel like you've done something wrong.
It was negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the absence of praise, people will perceive criticism.
You know, I think and I talked about this in my self-love group, that we are so, especially when, I see this a lot in women, obviously, but we're so hard on ourselves. Like, we don't want to even praise ourselves because we feel like people will think that's conceited or we're full of ourselves. But like, if we can't recognize and praise the good things about ourselves and the traits that we have and the people that we are, like, we can't expect other people to point them out. You know what I mean? So I say do some praise of yourself, and not in an egotistical way. I mean, just in a way that's like, hey, I'm pretty great at this. Like, I'm a pretty good photographer. I'm a pretty good, motivational speaker, whatever it is. Like, own it and live with it. I'm all for that.
And be okay with it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And the last two sentences of this chapter really get me. So I'm going to read them from page 144. By enhancing others and helping them to see their worth, we can turn them into prisms of light that enhance everyone around them. That kind of power is big potential in action. Okay, he didn't say the big potential.
No,
I
he
think
didn't.
you forgot out a word.
Yeah,
there.
right. So it's about what you mentioned a little while ago, which is refracting the light. Turning the prism, refracting the light, puts it out everywhere.
I think this is really good concept for us to be talking about. I love praising the happiness that you get from it. It makes you feel good when someone recognizes something about yourself.
Right, absolutely. So do you have a strategy for us at the end
I
of this?
do. Well, of course I do. Okay, what do you think? I forgot to do it?
No, because you know what? You're really good at organization and strategies.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that praise. Yeah, that's the other thing. When someone does praise you or gives you a compliment, you say thank you.
Recognize it, right.
Okay, you have to, and there's actually, you should, what I have studied is that when you say thank you, you need to add on to it for like 20 seconds so that then it gets into your brain more. So when you say, you're really good at putting these strategies together. Well, thank you so much, Heather. I really put a lot of thought into what I put out there so that it was really helping people, and it's content that they can take and put into action in their lives so that they can see an impact. Then you're recognizing it yourself and pulling it down in. Okay? See?
That's actually a good strategy about a strategy. Right.
Okay, you're going too far.
Yeah, move on.
Okay, so the strategy for this week, I want you to every single day, pick one person that you're going to praise. Okay, and I want you to send a text or an email or call the person 3 times, morning, afternoon, and evening, and give them some praise. Okay, make sure they say thank you every time. And even if they want to talk a little extra 20 seconds, let them do that.
Right.
But I just want you to start giving it out. And I want you then to be able to see what comes back to you after you start doing that. Who are you going to praise?
I love to praise my husband. I mean, my number one role in life is to make him feel good about himself and lift him up and elevate him. So I will do that all the time. I will periodically send him a text message so that he knows I'm thinking about him. I obviously fawn all over him, tell him how handsome he is. He's so rugged and sexy. You cannot even believe. And I will make sure that he knows it. He comes home, he'll come home from work and I'll say, did you have a hard day? And he'll say, no, it was fine. I'm like, no, I mean, looking so good. Was it hard to go to work and look that good? Was it challenging, exhausting? But I look for ways to praise him.
I'm over here throwing up in my mouth a little bit, but
I look for ways to praise my mom.
Yes.
She needs words of affirmation or her love language. So I like to do that. What about you?
My mom, I really love, I have to get better at texting. I want to text her every day in the morning, and tell her like how wonderful she is, because I think she struggles with not thinking like she's as amazing as she actually is. I would say my husband, but he doesn't need any he's like last night we were having dinner and he said something about like, our windows are open in our kitchen so people can see at our little table if you're looking in our house, but I don't
right,
know
why would you? Right.
And he's like, I'm gonna take my shirt off and let everyone admire this Adonis. And I was like, no one wants to look at your beer belly. He has a beer belly, but he doesn't even drink beer.
That is hilarious.
I'm like, no one wants to see that. I'm like, who's looking in here anyway? The kids over there on the trampoline? I don't think so.
That is funny. Yeah.
And my best friend, I really love her. She's very supportive of what I'm doing, so I would love to praise her.
Good.
So, Heather, as we end today's episode, how can everybody support our podcast?
Okay, the first thing you need to do is go to Flourish.Academy/podcast and check out these strategies and make sure you put them into practice, because knowledge is not power, action is power. Mm-hmm. So you have to do something with it. And then, hey, while you're over there, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you listen. If you prefer video, you can watch us.
You can check out my makeup because
you did a good job
I'm
today.
working hard on my makeup, okay?
Flourish.Academy to see Mara's lashes. And if you like the content, make sure you share it with your friends, leave a review. All of those good things help us to reach and impact more people. Also, if you'd like to pick up a copy of Big Potential as we go through it, then make sure you use our Amazon affiliate link. It just helps offset some of the expenses associated with the podcast.
Oh, yeah, guys, because I spent more money on Amazon today.
Right.
There's 6 boxes sitting on my back porch I got to put out for the trash that all have the Amazon little smile on it. But it makes me happy when those boxes arrive on the porch.
Because that's knowledge. Those books, all of those books are knowledge. Right.
I'll let you believe it was just books that were delivered. Anyway, okay, thanks everyone for tuning into this podcast. We'll check you next time.